Well, hello fellow Marcians and welcome back to my channel, and in today's video we are going to have a chatty book conversations. I don't know what to title this video. Well, hello creative family, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, I am Nicole and I am a romance writer. Now for today's video, it's going to be a bit different. I'm going to be sharing my thoughts and my experience on reading a certain book called The Iron King. Now, if you have been following my channel for a while now, you have probably heard of me reading this book. Long story short, I have received 3 books from this book series, the Iron Fae book series, from my aunt in the UK. And since I don't have the first book, I had to buy an ebook version, and I listened to the audiobook version, and then I reread the ebook version before I finally did this book review. Actually, I'm not going to say this is a book review. I think this is just a book commentary on what I thought about the book, about my experience of reading this book. But before we proceed into today's video, if you want more variety videos from me, such as writing vlogs, chatty videos, and book commentaries, do consider subscribing to the channel and hit the bell beside to notify you each time I post a video. Now let's get into the video. I will start by saying that it was a hard time reading this book. I am not sure if it's the book itself or maybe it's just me, because it's been a long time since I last read a full book, and this is a new book. I usually read books that I'm familiar with already, so those are just technically rereads just to refuel my creative juices. So reading a new book was quite a challenge to me. Reading the ebook at the first time was hard. It was very hard, so I told myself I needed something different, and I didn't want to stop reading this book because I was intrigued by the first chapter. I really was. So I took the time to search for an audiobook version, and thankfully there is one on YouTube, so I listened to it while I was doing other things, and I enjoyed the whole listening experience because while I was doing something else, I was also achieving this one, which was reading the book. And then after the audiobook, I went back to the ebook and then reread it a couple of times. Most of the times I didn't get past through chapter 10 because my attention span was just the worst. But I pushed myself to finish it until the very end, and I have to say, don't get me wrong, I enjoyed this book. I'm not saying that this is the best book of all time. There are things that I enjoyed about it and things that I didn't enjoy about this book. I also want to say that I'm not a professional book reviewer. I'm just gonna share my thoughts on what happened during the duration of my whole reading experience. During the whole duration? Is that even? So I read the Iron King book, which is the first book of the Iron Fae series. According to my research, this is, as I can remember, a young adult fantasy book, and it has 6 books in this series, and I think 2 or 3 novellas as well, and it's written by Julie Kagawa. So when I said it's the Iron Fae series, you could probably tell this story is about fairies. And I've heard of fairy books that, you know, it contains like sexual stuff, mature content. Thankfully, the first book did not contain that. It was just full of action and introducing the world and introducing who the main character is. Now, the main character is Megan Chase. She is a half human and half fae. She doesn't know that she's half fae. And according to the book, all of the characters from the fairy world is from mythical creatures from stories. I will have to research that, because if that is true, I would definitely read those tales by, what's his name? Robin Goodfellow. Puck, that's what he's normally called in this book. Basically, the whole plot of the book is Megan goes to the fairy world to rescue her brother, which was switched with a changeling, and there she meets a bunch of characters. There are some that I hated, some that I enjoyed, and then she uncovers the truth that there's something else that's happening in the fairy world and she also finds love with the enemy. So I want to start with the things I did not enjoy because I want to leave this video on a good note. First thing that I did not enjoy in this book, I don't want to say this, I didn't want to say this, but I didn't enjoy Megan, the main protagonist of this book. I'm not saying that she's the worst character written, I'm not saying that. Perhaps I just didn't enjoy how she was written, I guess. I understand that she doesn't know the whole fairy world and she needs to learn stuff and people need to explain everything to her. She's new to the world. But I just don't like it when she keeps on asking questions when she's specifically told to run or hide or just keep going. She has this attitude that she just wants to keep on asking questions, and I understand that. I do have a few characters such as that, but there are just so many times in the book where I just wanted to say, stop asking questions, just go, just run. She was also told not to do things, but she keeps on doing those things, and Puck, the best friend, always has to rescue her. I can't say that I hate this character because again, this is just the first book. I hope and I believe that in the next books in the series she's gonna improve. Next thing that I didn't enjoy about this book would be Puck, which is the best friend of this book. When I first read that she has a male best friend, my first thought was, I guess this guy is in love with her. And I wasn't wrong, this guy was in love with her. I didn't enjoy Puck for the reason that he's, how do I put this in the right terms? I don't know how to put this in other ways, but he's treating Megan too much of a baby. He's always there to save the day, is always there to keep her safe, and even though she's just treating her badly, he's still there. He's still there. There are times in the book when I was like, she doesn't want to listen, just leave her. Let her do what she wants. But I can't blame him because he is, after all, the best friend. Next thing that I did not enjoy about this book would be the fact that there are cheerleaders and Megan has a crush on the school jock. Or the school jerk, is what I usually call it. It's the usual setup that the main character has a crush on the school jerk, and the school jerk is the school jock who hangs out with the cheerleaders. And she's also bullied because her mother remarried and her stepdad has a pig farm, so she's being bullied for that. Which is another thing that I also didn't enjoy, is she has a stepdad and she doesn't get along with the stepdad. I can't say that I hate that point because I have stories where, you know, the main character's parent remarries and doesn't have a good relationship with the step-parent. I guess I don't enjoy it because she always complains about this relationship with her stepdad on the first chapter or second chapter. I can understand that she doesn't have a good relationship with him, but to complain over and over and over and over and over and over again, I think that's what really got me annoyed. Next thing that I did not enjoy was Ash. Ash was the love interest of the book. I will get into more details on why I did not enjoy this person, because this will lead to me discussing about the romance of this book. What I enjoyed on this book is, I can't believe I'm saying this, I enjoyed Grimalkin. Grimalkin is actually a sidekick in the book. He is a Kate Sith, is what they say, but in terms he's a cat. In fairy version. I like Grimalkin because he has so much patience with Megan, and whenever he explains something to Megan, he is very sarcastic about it, and he's like always rolling his eyes or like, ugh, do I have to explain it to you over again? I just like Grimalkin. I enjoyed it, and maybe it's because I am a pet person, that's why. I actually enjoyed the world building of this book. I'm not that good with world building, so when I read this book and it started describing everything in the world, the surroundings and everything like that, I saw it and I enjoyed it. I love that when it comes to books, especially with fantasy and sci-fi. So I appreciate that, I enjoy that. Now let's go to the romance now. The romance. Megan is in love with Ash. Ash is in love with Megan. And Puck is in love with Megan, of course, but Megan is oblivious to the fact that her best friend is in love with her. I think we all heard this kind of story before. I have no problems if the best friend is attracted to the main protagonist, but sometimes I would just wish that Megan would be very, very sensitive towards Puck because they are best friends. She should be able to feel that and not be oblivious to it. Now, the romance between Ash and Megan. Now, when Megan first met Ash, it wasn't the best first meeting. She was hunted down by Ash. And not because Ash wanted her. Ash wanted Puck because Ash and Puck had some kind of background. Now, the reason why Megan was attracted to Ash was actually physical attraction. She would always emphasize that you're not allowed to fall in love with him. He's not sexy. He's not. But he really is. He was always describing how hot his muscle was, how hot his face was. And I'm like, are we gonna say anything except that this guy is hot? And the reason why Ash is attracted to Megan is because Megan has some resemblance to his former lover. That's not a good way to start a relationship. So I was reading that and I was like, you think this is normal? And for some reason they're still attracted to one another, so what the heck. Also, one thing that I did not enjoy about this book is that Megan keeps on making promises in the fairy world, although Puck, Grimmelkin, and Ash has repeatedly told her, hey, stop making promises in the fairy world, it's not smart. But she keeps on doing it anyways because she needs to rescue Ethan. Do I still have any thoughts about this book? One thing that I also enjoyed about this book is the audiobook version. I enjoyed how the narrator really gave her all to encompass every character. They had their own voice, their own style of talking, and she really did her best with that, and that's why I enjoyed the whole book. Now, with my whole reading experience of the book, I would say 3 stars. 3 stars or 3 from 5. I don't hate it, but I did not enjoy it. I have this type of attitude that if I really enjoyed that book, I'm going to reread it no matter how many times I did. I will read it. However, this book, I did not want to read it again. When I first heard the audiobook, when I finished the audiobook, my response was, yes, it's finally done. I guess it's because I did not enjoy the romance between Megan and Ash. I looked forward to the romance of this book. I really did. But then I enjoyed the world building. I enjoyed the plot actually. I enjoyed Grimmelkin. But I did not enjoy the romance between Megan and Ash. I think that's the throw off for me for this book. But that's just me. Perhaps other people enjoyed this book, but for me, I just didn't enjoy it because of Megan and Ash. Will I read it again and again? Not really, but will I read it in the future again? Probably so if I enjoyed the other books in the series. But right now, my next adventure is to read the next book. I am not sure if it is the Iron Daughter book or if it's the novella. But overall, I enjoyed the reading experience. I just had a hard time getting through this book because of Megan and Ash. But that's all I have for you today, folks. Thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed it, do give it a big thumbs up and leave a comment down below. Share me your thoughts on this video, what you liked and what you didn't. Also, will you be giving this book a read? Will you be giving it a try? And if you will give it a read, do let me know on Instagram if you read it and give me your thoughts. Follow my trail of social media. Everything will be listed down below. My website will be undergoing a rebranding, and it will be done soon, I promise. So right now there's no monthly newsletter yet. Again, thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys on the next video. Stay safe, stay creative, and happy writing, Marcians.